So, I'd like to introduce now Ernie Warrender, who's very well known to many of you. He's a great support to UKIP Gloucestershire. He's, as I mentioned, the SME spokesman, countryside spokesman. He's a successful businessman in his own right. Lots of expertise and knowledge that he brings to our party, and I think it's great to have people who've been out in the real world, real life, who slept in a squat and ended up running a multi-million-pound business. You know, someone who's gone out, done it, made something happen. And that's so important, and we need people like that who connect, walking around with Ernie, connect with the man and the woman in the street. That's what we need to do, to say to people, to get those votes, to get them back on board, obviously under Gerard's leadership, and to start and build and fight to make sure that the Brexit happens that we've all voted for. So I'd like you to give me a big round of applause for our spokesman, Ernie Warrender.
Can I just check the sound? Can you all hear me? Yeah. It's double bad luck because you can see me as well, can't you? Yes, I'm spokes for small business and the countryside, but I would like to pick up on something that Reese said. My grandfather died in 3 foot of mud, well, 0.9 of a metre of mud on the Somme. And my father was driven nuts on Lancaster, so we would have freedom of speech in this country and we would not be bossed around by Europeans. Haven't we done well? Labour's response, by the way, which I did pick up recently to Rotherham from Naz Shah, MP, was they should shut up the victims in the name of diversity. And Gary Swain, Labour-approved councillor's attitude was, who cares, they were probably all, I'll use the word drunk, it wasn't the word he used. They are the nasty party. Every time I've spoken, you don't get much bother from the Lib Dems. You remember the Lib Dems? You don't get much bother from the Tories. In fact, what I will say to you, and looking at this room bears it out, UKIP are back. And having spoken to our treasurer, I've got some more news. Not only are UKIP back, UKIP are back in the black. On that note, I'm really proud to stand here with Gerard. I was, for a while, I would introduce myself as the National Party spokesman for, well, actually, the National Party spokesman, because everyone else had gone. I didn't leave because my father said something to me once. He said he was on the gate at RAF Scampton in the war, and an officer walked past, and the whole gatehouse turned their back on him. And he walked back, and he said, whatever you think of the man, you respect the office and the uniform. That man had been labelled LMF, which was PC speak for coward in the war. I stayed behind because I support UKIP to the core, and I support the leader. All right? Whatever you think of the person. We now have a leader, someone with foresight. Some 3 or 4 years ago, Gerard wrote a pamphlet, and it basically said, reckon we're going to get Brexit, and the establishment will stop it. He will probably flesh that out a bit. Try to stop it. I am very optimistic because what Gerard has done, he has sent 2 powerful messages in his appointments. He appointed Tony Mack. Who knows Tony Mack? Yeah? Yeah, Tony McIntyre I've known as a member, as a treasurer, as a branch chairman, as a county chairman, and as a regional chairman. He is a chairman. He's not media hungry. He's not there to carry Gerard's bag. He is there to do a job, and he will do it for those of you who don't know him, and for those of you who do know him, he is doing it. Okay? And Gerard made that appointment not really knowing Tony Mack. It's not one of his chums, not one of his mates. And this, I thought, was wonderful because the days of nepotism and favouritism have gone. Yes. UKIP is growing up, big time. We are now a mature party. And his next appointment was a guy called Sebastian Fairweather as National Party Treasurer. And for those of you who don't know Sebastian, he's a fellow of Oxford. He is a trustee for a £250 million fund for one of the Oxford colleges. The man is top drawer. We are in good hands, I promise you now, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things I wanted to touch on, which is social media. It's been touched on by Reese. How many of you are on Twitter? Let's have a look. Hey? Right, okay. I'm on Twitter too. Find me, send me a follow request and I'll follow you. This is what we have signally failed to do. This is what Labour are doing. I was very kindly invited to speak at a school near Stroud. Now, for those of you who don't know Stroud, it is Glastonbury in the Cotswolds. Yeah, I'm there to be lynched again. UKIP got booed off stage there 2 years ago, and I went there. And I spoke, as I'm speaking tonight, as Reese spoke, with no notes, because I'm speaking to you from the heart. I believe what I tell you. I don't need notes, all right? And at the end of that, this whole group of people there who booed UKIP off stage 2 years ago were receptive, open-minded, and apparently want me back. The person who organised that, we have our own Pip the Younger here, and there is another one. Josh, can you stand up, please? Because my guest of honour tonight, there he is Josh Priestley from Redknock School, who the teachers didn't organise this. Josh had 2 MPs lined up to come. Can we have a round of applause, please, for Josh? Thank you, Josh, for giving us an open-minded opportunity. That's all I ask, an open-minded opportunity to put our case. Going back to Twitter, you find me, you follow me. When I post something, you like it, comment sensibly on it. Little tip, don't comment after 9 o'clock at night when you've had a few, please. Just a little tip. I will follow you and do the same. This is how social media works. Together, we will push the snowball off the top, okay? Now, I am so positive, these local elections, I firmly believe, following our latest recruitment drive, with Theresa May in charge, I'm just going through it. We ain't getting our money back from the European Central Bank from about 100 years, about 100 years' time. We're going to carry on paying massive sums of taxpayers' money to the EU. The European Court of Justice will remain supreme. Fisheries can go down the river. There isn't much left, actually. I think there's a difference as a businessman between negotiation and capitulation. She is doing what David Cameron did. She is humiliating the British people. And my forebears did not go through hell and back to be humiliated. 17.4 million people will have their say at these local elections, deprived of the ability to have their say in European elections. Although the way it's going, we might demand we get another set, who knows? I ask you, those of you who have elections in your area, those of you who don't, please try and support those people. Lastly, what I want to say about us being in the black, there's been huge belt pulling in. Tony McIntyre is taking no salary. All right? He's doing this as a volunteer. I believe Sebastian, the same. Thank you. I spoke in the West Midlands, and branches with not very much money are sending money into the centre. No centre, the days of it being wasted are gone, I promise you that. I promise you that. Many branches I was in said, well, you know, the centre, what are they going to spend it on? Those days have gone. Absolutely promise you that. I'm organising a business audit of the party in conjunction with Sebastian. We will get the finances right down and they are back on track. Please, as branches, send as much in as you can. As members, donate whatever you can, because we have to now be on the block, because there is no one else to represent 17.5 million people, barring us. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me, put up with me. I'm going to hand you on to the star of the show, which is our new leader, Gerard. Thank you.